Hello everyone, it's Krista from Simply Breathe Now, and I just wanted to give you a video of March's insert. This is the cover of March's insert, some Celtic knocks that you can color, and there is another little one at the back so that you can have a little bit of a color for it. And then we just have March's title page where you can add the year and any designs that you want. I don't know if you wanted to add little shamrocks here or stars or anything around the circle, but you can add any color that you want. And this month's surprise spread is for spring cleaning. And I've put, I know it's a lot of writing, but I've put the Kon Mari method in. I don't know if you've heard about Marie Kondo, her life-changing magic of tidying up. She wrote a book about it called the Kon Mari method, which is the Kon Mari is her two names put together. I read this book a while ago and I did the Kon Mari method on our own home and I absolutely loved it. It is truly, it is life-changing. It is amazing. So this is my, after doing a book review of it, this is my spread that I have in my journal. And I've copied a couple of these things for you, and this is the list that I have in the insert for you to be able to go through. And basically once I did the item, I just colored the number to say that that was done. And I have 2 pages in my journal, and I've kind of tried to put it down to 1 page for you in your insert. And transforming the home into a sacred space, a power spot filled with pure energy, is one of the quotes from the book that I really thought was inspirational. So I've shared this with you. The goal of it is to establish the lifestyle that you want. So you're supposed to visualize what you want the space to look like. And the big thing that she does differently than most people who talk about decluttering or spring cleaning is that you sort by category and not location. So the first thing that you do is you follow a certain system. So you basically start with tops of your clothes and you would go around the whole house and gather all your tops. So you start discarding by choosing what you want to keep, not what you want to get rid of, which is also a different way of looking at how to spring clean. You bring all of the one item from around your house into one big pile, not in any order at all, just throw it in a big pile, and then you very quickly pick up the item, take each item into your hand and ask, does this spark joy? And believe it or not, even things like tops give you an energy, and you feel that energy in your body, and if you instantly feel the yes, you keep it and you store it in a home. So you'll have to find a place that makes sense once you've gone through everything that you give it a home. If it doesn't spark joy, you thank it for its service of what it's done, then you either sell it, donate it, or you bin it. Truly very different from a way I've ever spring cleaned, and unbelievable the feeling that you get at the end, because what happens is when you ask the question, does it spark joy, you do feel energy from the different items, and then what you have left around you is only things that bring you joy, which is a fantastic feeling. And the moment that you start, you reset your life. And that is also very true for me. I have to say that things really started to change once I went through the Kon Mari method. I just put a little disclaimer down here saying the whole process may take up to 6 months, so it's not something that happens really quickly. Each category would change the way you live as you go through. So you start with clothes and you gather all the items of one together, and you do all your tops first, then your bottoms, your jackets, and your suits. And depending on how much time you have, sometimes you might just do tops, and then another day you might have quite a bit of time, so you might get through all the rest of them. And you work your way through each category. When you do books, you are to take them all off the shelf, which sounds daunting, but amazing how it does work. You do not open them or start reading them. You basically pick them up, and like your clothes or your anything that you've done before, you pick them up and you feel them, and you feel an energy, and you'll know if you need to keep it. And she breaks them into categories again, so it's not so overwhelming. So general, cookbooks or reference. General can be any kind of reading book that you do, any fiction or non-fiction books. And then cookbooks or reference, photograph books, any magazines, and then children's books if that applies to you. The next area is papers, and she believes that you can throw all of them away except she has 3 categories. I've changed her categories a bit to kind of suit Canada, just because I've added government. We have a lot of government documents for things like that you need for taxes, and everyone's going to keep their information about your passport and things, but I think I put a government category because I think that's kind of important. Limited time things, and then current use. I have to admit that I do not just have these 3 categories. When you have your own businesses and small children, I have a few more categories, but my paper has definitely decreased since doing the Kon Mari method. Then she has an area called Kimono, if I'm saying that right, or otherwise known as miscellaneous. And this kind of breaks down everything else. So you have your CDs and DVDs, your skincare products, makeup, if that's applies to you, accessories, valuables like a credit card, your passport, those kind of things, electronic equipment and appliances, stationery and crafts, household supplies, food supplies, sports and hobbies, kids' toys, and change or knickknacks around the house. And the last category is mementos or sentimental items. And this can take quite a lot of time. She says with gifts, if you're holding on to a gift because someone gave it to you or has a memory, it is time to let it go because it has served its job if it doesn't actually spark joy when you hold it. And to be thankful for that its job was to give you joy when you received it, not necessarily to give you joy as you hang on to it, and not to feel guilty about it. So that's a big thing from past gifts that you gave your family that you may now have inherited, or gifts that your kids may give you that eventually you're like, I don't need this one gift, this 20th picture of the snowman that they've drawn this year, things like that. And then pictures also take a lot of time. She recommends that you take, as you're going through this process, you put all the pictures together, and then if you have pictures in albums, you take them all out, take 3 or 4, and then put them back in the album with just 3 or 4. That is a huge daunting task in my world. I am just scraping the surface of pictures, so I've gone through most of these, but this is a really big one, because especially since there's a lot on the computer, that could really use some clearing out as well. So yeah, that's the process. And then storing, you designate a spot for everything, and you should store items of the same type in the same location, generally for the same person. So you would put obviously all your clothes for the same person, all in the same location, and don't try to put them all over the house. She says books and magazines can happen to do that. They can kind of have a spot here, a spot here, a spot here. She said try to keep them all in the same type of thing, so all the books in the same location together for the same person. If that so I hope that helps. I hope it really that you enjoy this process, and that this spread is very inspirational. It was amazing for me, so I wanted to share it with you. So that's the big change, or the big surprise spread this month. And then everything else should be the same. So we have our memories page where you can put the memories from the month of March, when you either by doodles or writing, and then currently what are you watching, reading, listening to, loving, making, and saving for. The goals this month. I hope this is going well. I've had a few questions about goals this month. So I have written 18 goals for the year 2018, and every month I kind of go and be like, what am I going to really focus on this month? And I will put those three things or 2 things on this goal. And I usually do a goal that is something that I would do sitting or at a computer or things, because I have children, so I'll have kind of a very me-oriented goal, and then I have usually a goal that's very physical that I can do with the children around. So this might be a cleaning. I'm going to really clean or tidy or purge or something, or make a craft or something that's very physical, but I can come and go from it and with the kids around, and it doesn't need a lot of concentration. This goal may be something like I'm going to do the upgrade for January. I would have done like a new budget with a review of the budget from last year, which takes a lot of concentration, and I don't want to do with the kids around. So I would have 2 different types of goals so that I would be able to work on them slowly throughout the month. So that's kind of or a project, I guess. And then I might have another one, a personal goal, that would be something like I want to work on increasing my exercise. So I would put small goals on how I would be doing that. Then you just have your regular March calendar. And then we have our habit tracker. So our habit tracker is, again, you need to write the days of the week at the top for both, and then write what you're going to track this month. Again, if you want to do, you can do it with a dot, you can do it with a cross, you can do any Zentangles that you want. You can check out my Instagram or Facebook page. They will have examples of different types of Zentangle, and I always have the Zentangle down here in the bottom of what it is and how I kind of broke it down, how to draw it. There's a place for a quote, and then always a sleep tracker. And then gratitude. I hope you're enjoying gratitude and you're starting to see changes of how writing 2 things down a day, you start to see more and more wonderful things that are around you as the day goes on, and that gratitude isn't just about 2 things anymore, but it's actually many things throughout the day. And then the mood tracker. So the mood tracker I decided to do with the moon this month for March. So basically, this is the phases of the moon starting on the days, and you get to do 2 moods, because sometimes people feel that one color representing the whole day is really hard to choose. So this I drew so that you could do 2 colors, so you can experiment how you feel about having 2 different colors per day. So how did you feel generally in the morning, and how did you generally feel in the afternoon? And I've left this open today, or this month. I've left it so that you can decide how many moods you want, or what kind of moods you're thinking that you want. The last month I kind of encouraged a few different ones. Everyone is different, so I left this open, feeling that hopefully you can come up with the moods that represent you, and that you want the colors that you want to go for. So I hope you enjoy that. And then the financial report is the same as previous months, putting in what your income is, your different expenses, and again, this box isn't huge, so hopefully you'll be able to bunch some things together so you can get that in. Working out your cash flow, so your income minus your expenses for the month, and then what's happening with your assets, what's happening with your liabilities, and figuring out your net worth, which is assets versus your liabilities, and hopefully you're seeing that things are improving every month. Okay, and then there's a blank one right before the monthly starts, or the weekly starts, so that you can add any more collections. As you do more and more inserts, you might find that there's some collections you absolutely love and that you want to have in every book. So I've left a blank page for you to be able to do that. And then the rest of the book is, again, just a weekly spread where you add the days of the week here and what the week is, and then again you can decide how you want to break up your week if you want 2 different categories. So I use this for appointments and this for events. So appointments are time sensitive for that day, and events are just things that have to happen at some point on that day. And here is a place for you to do your to-do list of all the things that you kind of want to remember excuse me, for the week. And then at the bottom there's a waiting on list, which is what are you waiting for people to get back to or delivery on. And on the horizons are things that are coming up that you would like to remember but don't want to have to, that you want to remember but you want to pull it out so that you know that this is happening in the future. And then you just have your weeklies. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this is where you write your tasks. And then as your tasks get completed, you cross them off. So we'll review just how, this is just from, I just flipped to any page. I've flipped through July in 2017. So you write different events that are happening and you write them with a dot to start, or sorry, task. An event is with a circle. So here's an event with a circle, if you can see that underneath. And then a dot is a task. Once a task is completed, you cross it off. If you are no longer able to do it, you migrate it forward to the right. If it's no longer relevant, which I don't have on here, you would cross it off. And if it's something that you're going to have to reschedule, you might reschedule it with an arrow to the left. So that's just a review of the bullet journaling system. Remember that every time that you migrate something, make sure that it is something that you would like to do, and that's a part of the bullet journaling system that is wonderful, is the fact that reflect and make sure that you are spending time doing the things that you want to do. And at the end of the week, I've done a weekly review, what is working, what isn't working, and what needs to change, so that you can kind of start shaping your weeks in your life the way that you would really like to be doing it. So the rest of the book are just more weeklies. And then we have a monthly review at the very end. So this is a place for you to celebrate the month and celebrate yourself. So accomplishments, big events, things that you're proud of, and how are you different. And then there's places to talk about your projects, what you've completed, what's in progress in the next month, and your goals, what you focused on this month and what you want to focus on next month, and then things to reflect on so that you can improve the next month. So things that were challenging, things, personal struggles that you want to and then work on, and then always things that I want to remember. So these can be small things that are memories that you don't want to forget, that are different possibly from the ones that you put on your memories page, or there might be things that have tweaked an interest or a quote that you really want to remember or dive more into that you don't want to forget but maybe want to come back and look at. So that's there. And then you have a blank page at the end. And of course, if you want to follow me on Facebook or Instagram, it's on Simply Breathe Now. And that's the March insert. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Please share comments with me at the bottom if you have any questions or any spreads that you would like to see in future books. I will be now selling these individually, but I also will be selling them with 3 at a time, and you can contact me for information about that. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.